Okay, let's dive into this. We all make promises, right? We make deals, we make agreements, but what happens when one of those promises gets broken? I mean, what's the real consequence in the eyes of the law? Well, today we're going to get right into that.
So, picture this. A deal is on the table. Maybe you're hiring someone, maybe you're buying something important. You're counting on that promise, and then, poof, it falls through. The other person just backs out. You're left hanging. So, what now?
Our first instincts might be to think about punishment, right? About getting even. But the legal system, especially common law, comes at this from a totally different angle. It's not about revenge, it's about restoration.
And that brings us to our main idea, common law damages. Now, the key word here, the one you really got to focus on, is compensate. This is not about slapping a fine on the person who broke the promise. It's a remedy, a tool, specifically designed to deal with the loss the innocent party actually went through.
And this quote it nails it. The entire point is compensation. It's not about retribution, it's about repair. This is the guiding principle, the North Star for any court trying to sort out a broken contract. The focus is completely on the person who was let down.
Probably the easiest way to think about all this is with a simple idea: making someone whole again, right? Imagine you have a favorite vase and someone accidentally breaks it. The goal isn't to punish the person who broke it. It's about giving you what you need to get a new vase, to put you back in the position you were in before it was broken. That is the essence of compensation.
Okay, so that leads to the big question, doesn't it? Making someone whole sounds nice, but how does a court actually put a dollar amount on that? How do you calculate the exact amount of money it takes to fix the mess from a broken promise?
Well, this is where the law gets kind of clever. It uses this idea of, let's call it, a time machine in reverse. It's not about going back to the past, but about peering into a hypothetical future, an alternate reality, really.
And this phrase right here, this is the whole formula. The court's job is to figure out the exact financial position you would have been in if that contract had been performed perfectly. It's a what-if game. What if the promise had actually been kept? What would your bank account look like then?
So let's look at this comparison. On one side, you have your reality, where you are right now because of the broken promise. And on the other side, you've got this imaginary world, this position you would have been in if everything had gone to plan. The law has to measure both of these positions.
And the answer is simply the gap between them. It's that simple. Let's say you hire a painter for $500. They bail. Now you have to find another one, and the only person available costs $700. Well, the damages are that $200 difference. That's the amount of money needed to lift you from your current reality up to that imaginary world where the first promise was kept. So you can really boil this all down to a simple three-step way of thinking. First, you picture that perfect world where the promise was kept. Second, you look at the actual messy reality. And third, you measure the gap. That gap is the damage. It's a pretty logical and fair approach when you think about it. All right, so we've covered the what and the how of calculating all this. But this isn't just some dry legal formula. This whole principle of compensation is so important for reasons that go way beyond just one lawsuit. It's about more than just the money. See, this is all about building a foundation of trust. Because the goal is fairness, not punishment. It means a promise has real, measurable value. It's not just words anymore. It's a financially backed commitment. And that idea, that reliability, is what holds so much of our business and even personal lives together. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The whole system is designed to restore balance. It's a constructive idea at its core. It's not about punishing someone who couldn't follow through. It's about making sure the person who was counting on them isn't left holding the bag. And that leaves us with one last really interesting thought. If the system is all about compensation and not punishment, then what's to stop people from just breaking contracts whenever it's cheaper or easier for them to do so? It's a great question, and it gets right to the heart of why we have contracts in the first place, some to chew on.